What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. The day this video comes out, it is Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas to all of you that happen to be watching this. This is being recorded 2 days prior, but what you're going to see in this video as far as rotation is accurate because it's rotation time. My favorite recorded format on this channel. There's some variety here as per usual. There's some slightly heavier stuff because I do get milder, cooler days. It's been, especially in the mornings, been nice and crisp and cold in the 30s and low 40s pretty much every day. We warm up some days in the 60s, and that's why I'm able to wear some kind of a mixed bag. Still pretty much fall weather for the most part, even though it's Christmas time. But I've got some beautiful fragrances to talk to you about here in week number 210 in the weekly rotation. So make sure to stay tuned. Starting off on Sunday, it's so unfortunate. I keep hearing that this has been discontinued. It's not easy to find, so that's probably accurate. It's my favorite Azzaro fragrance. It's Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. This is so good. This is so good. Even if you're not a fan of the original, you might still like this. It still has that spicy aromatic aftershave smell from the original, but this sweet boozy brandy note and heavy dose of cinnamon really shine. It's a great performer, super masculine. This is so good. So good, but stays true to the original. It really does smell like a boozier, more intensified version of Azzaro Pour Homme. It is my favorite Azzaro fragrance over anything in the Chrome line, anything in the Wanted line, just anything Azzaro. I think this is the highlight for my taste because I do like these old school meets modern touch scent profiles, because that's what this is. Old school barbershop aftershave smell with some modern touches, because cinnamon's heavily used these days, and who doesn't like a good boozy note? I know I do. Beautiful. If you could find this one for a decent price, I would say under $80, it's still worth it, because you're still in the range of under retail at that point, because people are like, oh, I used to be able to get it for $35. Yeah, I paid $35, but if you can find it for $70, $75, you know retail was like $90 to $100 on this, right? It's still a discount, so keep that in mind. I'm not saying you should buy it at that point, but if it's something that you feel strongly about, that you know you enjoy or will enjoy, I don't think it's really all that bad at that price point. It's just best of luck finding it lower than that these days, because it is getting pretty scarce from the feedback I've gotten and the things I've seen personally. But a beautiful fragrance. I'll try to find a link that's not ridiculously priced to throw down there for you guys that want to check it out. But during the day, my favorite from Azzaro is Pour Homme Intense. And then when I got at the shower, one of my favorite rack store pickups of the year, Tommy Bahama, St. Barts. This is the women's version. So you still get that margarita on the rocks kind of smell with a light, sweet floral, a little bit of a flowery tone. Very much a breezy, beachy type of scent. Still, it's not as warm and boozy. You still get that tequila accord with lime and salt and all that good stuff. There's a sand accord. I can't tell you specifically what it's doing here, but it does give you that breezy by the beach, having some cocktails kind of feel. I don't think it's all that feminine. I think it's perfectly unisex. I've been wearing this one much more than the men's version this year. So I think it's really, really good. Now at the shower, it's a great option. It's Tommy Bahama St. Barts for women. Moving into Monday, I would argue this was the best smelling day of the week. Maybe we should start picking the best smelling day of the week for these weekly rotations, because we're 210 weeks into this bad boy at this point. We're over 4 years straight of the weekly rotation, and fragrances like Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Extreme stand out. So I got this one recently this year, in the second half of the year, finally. The plum, the earthy tobacco, you still get that bitter almond smell, the sweetness. It's nice and earthy without being too fruity sweet. Just such a good one. There's an argument for this being the best in the line, though I do slightly prefer the L'Intense, the smoky leather version. This is a very close second. This is a great performer for me. Obviously, it's one of the newer bottles. If I get asked about the older red bottles, I get every bit of 8 hours out of this. And it projects really well for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Sillage is decent on it. Like, I'm loving this fragrance. I'm so glad I added it to the collection. This is beautiful. This is half of the reason why I say it was probably the best smelling day of the week, because this smells so damn good. Strongly encourage you sampling this, especially if you like tobacco. I think it makes it a must-try tobacco scent. And that's Guerlain's L'Homme Ideal Extreme. And then when I got the shower, more tobacco, but a different tobacco this time. So I had a good shave and used my Zaharoff Signature Tabac Shave Set. Here is the splash. And of course, I gave myself some accompanying sprays of the fragrance. You can see that juice level continues to drop. I very much wear this one quite often. Very different personalities and types of tobacco fragrances here between the two. This is more leafy, aromatic, gentlemanly, professional smelling, but there's booze, there's sweetness, there's smoky notes, there's spices, there's woodsy notes. There's a balance and harmony of so many things going on, but it doesn't smell busy. It definitely smells deep and complex without being overdone. So just magnificent work by Claude Deer, who perfumed this one. And it continues to be one of my personal favorites and such a great option to have a shave set for. I mean, I never show the soaps when I talk about the splashes and stuff like that, but just to show you guys that this is the main layering combo. Out the shower, had a good shave, was a Zaharoff Signature Tabac. Moving into Tuesday, we kept the tobacco scent profiles going. This is another one of my favorite tobaccos. This is Amouage Boundless. Beautiful orange smell. I believe it's a blood orange note, but rich orange smell, spices, resins, smoky, woodsy, a little dry but not much, some vanilla, and a nice earthy, rich, deep, robust tobacco smell. This is a pretty intensive tobacco note, I find, but more on the mass appealing side compared to some of their other tobacco fragrances, like Journeyman, for example. That's a much more dry, extremely masculine fragrance, whereas the sweetness kind of rounds it off a bit more. But it's still so good. Such a great offering from Amouage. This doesn't get the kind of love I feel like it should. Great performance, 4 to 5 sprays all day long, which number of sprays doesn't dictate longevity, it dictates your projection and early on. Sillage is going to be what it is. Sprays can dictate some of that too, but longevity, it's going to last how it's going to last. You can spray 4 sprays will last the same amount as 30. Just one's going to be way stronger than the other for the amount of time that they're on your skin. Got to look at it that way. Beautiful. Strongly encourage more people checking out Amouage, one of the best perfume brands in the world. I love their offerings. Quality stuff, great performance, unique profiles 99.9% of the time, and they keep their signature DNA, those oriental resinous smoky notes, pretty much in almost all of their fragrances. So personal favorite of mine during the day, Amouage Boundless. And then we switched it up. I had 3 tobacco scents in a row. I wanted fresh. I haven't worn this in a long time. This is Azzaro Chrome Legend. Tea, Metallic, Aquatic. That's basically it. It's not all that crazy. It's kind of sharp and synthetic. It's pretty metallic. Shower gel still has that core Azzaro Chrome shower gel smell to it, but the tea note really intensifies this one. Really good performance. I haven't reached for it in a really long time. There's a lot of people that this is their favorite version of Chrome. I totally get it. Not my favorite version of Chrome, but I do enjoy it. And I don't know what struck me to grab it and wear it out the shower, but I was glad I did. I had not wore this one in a couple of years at this point, so it was nice to visit. It's, I've reached for more better performing fragrances, I would say. More and more I've been reaching for better performing. Let me say it correctly, because that did not go correct. That did not go right the way I said it. Screwing up left and right, look at me. But this is one of those fragrances that it was time for me to wear it. I need to revisit some of these just beautiful options that are just sitting on those shelves. I just have too many fragrances. I don't encourage you having as many fragrances as me, guys. But this is a good one. Not a great one, but definitely a good one. Out the shower, Azzaro Chrome Legend. Moving into Wednesday, maybe the second best smelling day. What a diverse choice here between the two. Because during the day, we went very leathery, resinous, and spicy, with my favorite designer release of 2023 being Spicebomb Infrared Eau de Parfum. Huge fan of this fragrance. It was nice to wear it. I love wearing it. I always look forward to new Spicebomb releases. It's one of my favorite fragrance lines ever. Top 3 fragrance DNA, personally. Love Spicebomb. I never hesitate to buy them as soon as they launch in the U.S. from Viktor and Rolf's website at full retail. I don't wait around for these to hit discounters. Gotta have the Spicebomb flanker as soon as they drop. And it ended up being my favorite designer of the year. Huge fan. If you haven't tried it yet, you really should. It's not loud and overwhelming like some of them can be. So if you're looking for an absolute projection monster, maybe this ain't for you. This is a bit smoother and more refined and subdued. Room for discovery, intimate kind of thing, but still lasts a really long time on my skin. Easily 8 to 10 hours in longevity. Just not crazy strong projection. But during the day, one of my faves. Spicebomb Infrared Eau de Parfum. Then I got out the shower. We went to Very Fresh, Minty, and Aquatic with another 2023 release in Rasasi Hawas Ice. I think it's one of the better releases of the year, though I don't think it quite lived up to the hype. I did feature that recently in the last few days, this past week in a video. I really am happy that I have it, though. This is good stuff. God, that smells good. Literally, the reason I wore it out the shower, this was the night that I filmed the video I featured it in. I'm like, I'm wearing that tonight. Because I love the way it smells. Now, I do like the original Hawas a little bit more, but it's not a wide margin. I love them both. I'm happy to have both. And I encourage anyone that enjoys the original or likes Invictus-like fragrances, Invictus Aqua-esque scent profiles, you should check this one out. It's kind of Invictus Aqua with some mint. For lack of a better term, you can look at it that simple. It's pretty good stuff. Out the shower, way more performance than I needed. Rasasi Hawas Ice. Moving into Thursday, I'm just now realizing how many tobacco fragrances I wore this week. This is the 4th tobacco fragrance of the week. I guess I was just in the mood for tobacco with Ormonde Jayne's Montabaco Intensivo. So very redundant to Montabaco Verano, but it's not as fresh, it's not as citrus dominant, it's not as full of isoe super, at least not to my nose. But it does heighten this tobacco note, I have to say. God, this is such a good DNA. No matter what, I haven't smelled Montabaco, and I believe there's a 4th flanker that I don't know the name to, but the 2 that I have, Verano and Intensivo, are gorgeous fragrances. I strongly encourage you guys checking them out. Some really good stuff that's unique to Ormonde Jayne. I don't smell the scent profile in other brands and other fragrance lines. This is so good. Great performance. High oil concentration. They're 50 mLs that you don't need to spray a lot. And even though you can smell the aroma chemicals, it's clearly not all naturals, it still smells of quality and doesn't smell like a cheap fragrance. I really appreciate the way they work this. Ormonde Jayne's a damn good brand that I don't think quite gets the spotlight that it deserves. And it was really nice to revisit this one. I had only wore it once since I had gotten it. This was my second wearing. So beautiful for this time of year. It was nice and cool outside. I think the high was like 52 the day I wore this. Beautiful fragrance. During the day, Ormonde Jayne's Montabaco Intensivo. And then when I got the shower, I couldn't figure out what to wear, so I just grabbed the first thing I saw. I said, why not? Bvlgari Pour Homme Extreme. Smells like an intensified version of Mont Blanc Starwalker. This is much greener than regular Bvlgari Pour Homme. Not quite as watery, but clearly smells like the extreme version of the original. Fresh citrus greens, a little spiced, woodsy, watery fresh, but not as watery fresh as the original. Good stuff. I didn't want to think about it. It was a dumb reach kind of thing where I just looked right here and I said, why not? And grabbed that. There was not much thought that went into it. And I'm glad I did it because it was my first full wearing. I just recently got this one in the last 2 weeks. And I didn't need a reason. You never need a reason to wear something like this because this just works for everything. But it was nice to spray. And I got to say, it's a beautiful fragrance. Not a must-have, but for my collection, I'm happy to have it. I will be doing a full line review as I spend more time with all 3 versions of the scent profile. But out the shower, I went with Bvlgari Pour Homme Extreme. Moving into Friday, I'm currently wearing this because it's Friday at the recording of this. And I love this fragrance. It's Mancera Silver Blue. And it very much matches what I'm wearing today. But this is thick caramel drizzled over spiced woods. Performance, sillage, longevity, projection, everything's really good. And it's a thick caramel sweetness. It's not a funky, woody oud, but there's a little hint of some funk, just a little hint. Dry, warm wood. So good. So not a blue fragrance. The bottle looks great. The name's cool, Silver Blue, and it matches the bottle, but it does not match the scent, but that does not take away from the scent because the scent's amazing. Smells like if you had Nichané's Papi Le Fico, which I've smelled recently, take that and add caramel, a thick caramel to it, and intensify the woods. They're similar. They're not exactly the same fragrance, but they are similar to one another, to the point to where I'm not going to get Nichané's Populifico. Glad I got that decant. But this, I prefer. I love a good caramel note. I've gotten some fragrances with some really good caramel notes in the last couple of months, and this kind of stands tall over anything else with prominent sweet notes that I've gotten as of late, because I really, really like this. I love Pierre Montal's work. Beautiful fragrance, and I'm not going to wear anything out the shower. I'm going to give my neck a break here in just a little while, but during the day, today on Friday, Mancera's Silver Blue. And on Saturday, so travel day, when I travel, I map out my days and I stick to the way I'm going to map out everything. So tomorrow, we're going to be in the car most of the day. Not most of the day, but for several hours. It's like 5.5 hour drive, roughly. But I'm going with Zaharoff Signature Aurum. I want the beautiful sticky raw honey smell, all of that spice and amber, a little bit of hazelnut. Wife loves it. This is a beautiful sillage to live in. I gotta say, I'm not a big gourmand guy. Just like I said with the previous fragrance that we just talked about, that's got a heavy caramel. There's certain fragrances when it's not just smell like a complete dessert the whole time, and there's other nuance. I love it, because this smells like cinnamon sticks and sticky amber mixed with the hazelnuts, the coconut milk, and the thick raw honey. This is beautiful. This is my kind of jam. I really, really dig this. So good. And performance is great, too. You don't need much. I'll probably do 3 sprays, and my wife will tell me how it's too strong for the first 2 hours. Because that's probably what's going to happen. Because it's hard to make myself only do 2 sprays, so I'll probably just do 1 on each side of the neck and 1 behind the neck, and that'll be plenty. But she does love the way this smells. She may not complain about it being too strong, but since we're going to be in the car, she might say it's a little strong. So we'll see. But I'm excited to wear it because it's been several weeks since the last time I wore it. This is a great release this year from Zaharoff. If you haven't tried it, I would encourage you spending the $5 and getting the sample in the link down below, and you get 10% off. But just a few bucks to get a 2 ml sample and try it for yourself, especially if you like honey and amber. You'll probably like this. On Saturday, Zaharoff Signature Aurum. Well, that's week number 210, leading up to Christmas and Christmas Eve. Happy holidays to you and your family. Thank you so much for watching the video. Until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What'd you guys wear this week? Sound off in the comments down below. I love reading what you guys have been wearing. It's always interesting to see what's been the flavor of the week. Like, what have you been gravitating to, even if it's not necessarily something different every day like I typically do. What's been kind of that 1 or 2 go-tos for you in the last week? Definitely comment down below. I'm curious. And until next time, I will say, if you happen to get anything and wear anything that I wore this past week and you give it a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Once again, Merry Christmas to you and yours. Have a good one, guys.